To NURFM as we continue with Peter Mullen and health and wellbeing. Peter taking the biggest yawn I've ever seen. He opened up a space-time. He opened up a space-time.
I can't get away with anything.
You opened up a space-time vortex right there. I thought I was just going to get. Whoa, I'm over here now, Peter.
Well, Am
I boring you?
I've just finished 3 days.
We give you a platform to come over and promote your little program with your little ways, and you just we're just too boring for you.
I do. I have just finished 3 days of doing juices.
Okay.
So I maybe just a touch on the tighter side this morning.
Well, you're not
no. I feel really good after doing 3 days of just juices.
Peddle your excuses elsewhere, little man.
Move on. Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay.
So we're talking about food fullness today. Some of the things that some of those habits to get in and get out of. A couple one of which I just can't get rid of, and one I can't accept happens in real life. One is eating in front of the TV, and another eating in bed.
Well, I think that's apart from you, that's a very common phenomenon.
Eating in bed,
particularly. Well, eating in bed, yeah, absolutely. As Riley was just saying, he's too lazy to get out of bed. So if you can marry up bed, TV, and food, happy days.
Potentially. So why is that a bad thing, apart from the fact that we're just going to... Is it go back to that thing where we're talking about you just feeling good?
Yeah, well, I think it goes like eating in front of the TV, like, putting a movie on and thinking, right, what can I have to eat? You're not eating because you're hungry. You're not eating because you want any nutrition. You're eating basically because of how you're going to feel when you eat.
I think in my entire adult life, I have eaten 99.9% of my meals at home in front of the television.
Yeah.
With only a couple of rare exceptions that I can think of. And I know for myself, this is something you get into. You eat until the program you're watching finishes.
Yeah.
And that's where it's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So I and again, just a couple of rules around food that, really seem to suit like some people is only have your 3 meals a day. If you eat between meals, just have a piece of fruit. And if you're going to have a meal off track or a cheat meal a week like pizza, have it on a Friday night. But every other day, don't have a packet of chips, or don't have a cream biscuit, or just try and Monday to Friday eat really clean. Mm-hmm. Maybe Friday night go to the local club or go out to a nice restaurant and have a meal. Allow yourself to have whatever you want, but then come back the weekend like you're back on track again. So it's not eating well doesn't mean that you can never have those other foods, but when those other foods creep in and you're having them every day. And so with TV in bed, like if you get into they're just bad habits to have. So it's a good idea to think, right, no food in the bed. And, and for your main meals, particularly sit up to the table, maybe play some music, put your knife and fork down between each mouthful, enjoy the taste of your food. We'll get more onto that in a minute. But yeah, you don't want to link food and enjoyment, food and entertainment.
I think that's the big link, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive link.
And it's an easy enough thing to break. You just have that rule and particularly for young families, like so many young families these days are losing that knack of, kids eat at a different time, mum might eat on her own, dad's home differently. If you can't all sit to a table and have dinner, that may not happen every night these days because everyone's so crazily busy, but try and have family dinner one night a week at least, where everybody sits at the table, have a chat, take your time, discuss what everyone's been up to, and just eating needs to be an enjoyable, relaxed, even social sort of event, not necessarily something that you do unconsciously and mindlessly while you're watching TV.
Just while you talk about it becoming part of a family thing again and not sort of autonomously on its own with entertainment, I guess part of that is also learning the art of chewing slowly. As simple as that sounds, it's something we've lost the knack of.
Look, absolutely. And chewing well, eating slowly. And again, even this whole topic today, I was thinking about beforehand, it sounds all like common sense, but this is chewing well, eating slowly is actually one of the big steps towards recognizing how racy you are. Like so many times people will eat and they'll hoover down a whole wrap in 2 seconds flat. So they've not tasted it. They're still hungry. They still feel like they need to eat more food. So chew well, eat slowly. Number one, you get more nutrition. And as we've said before, food needs to be chewed to a paste before we can actually get the benefit from it, get the energy we need, get the nutrition. that chewing, it stimulates all your digestive acids and enzymes. So if you just bolt your food down or gulp your food down, you don't turn on your digestive tract. So the food then just sits in your stomach then for the next couple of hours. So it stimulates your digestion, turns your digestion on, you get the nutrition from your food, and it's a good way of just checking in where you're up to nervous system wise, because if you make yourself chew well and eat slowly, you'll actually recognize that you're slowing your nervous system back down, that you don't need to be in a rush just to have your lunch.
Good afternoon, Tom. You've got a question about food for Peter this afternoon.
Yeah, g'day, Peter.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah, I'm wondering how I can get my wife to put on weight, actually.
Well, she's in the rare minority for starters, wanting to put weight on. A couple of things. Does your wife only eat small amounts of food?
She eats exactly what I eat, and I'm putting it on, and she's taking it off. But
okay.
She's been on medication, all these sort of medications, because she had a car accident a few years back.
Yes. And
she's doing it religiously, doing the medication, evening primrose, and all this other stuff with it. And now the doctor said to give her Suchten every day. She has morning and afternoon. And I just don't know. She doesn't seem to put on an ounce.
Yeah, okay. Look, well, a couple of things. Obviously, the doctor's on board with trying to work out why she can't put weight on, because, there are some other things that, can contribute to why someone might have trouble putting weight on. But I would start with, if her digestion, I would start by trying to improve her digestion for starters.
Yep.
So it burns even more effectively. So things like lemon in your water first thing, apple cider vinegar in a bit of water before meals.
Apple cider vinegar, I think that's good. Yeah.
So that helps just to improve the appetite even more. And then you need to look at increasing things like your complex carbs, things like brown rice, sweet potato, white potato, and also increasing your fats. So you don't want to, like, Sustenance not a real nutritious sort of food supplement, but it'll help increase the calorie input. But look at where you can increase the fat. So things like butter, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado.
Yep.
So every meal, try and get her to increase a little bit of oil if she can cope all right with that. And things like nut butters are really good to have a snack between meals of, some rice thins or corn thins with some almond butter or cashew butter, or celery sticks and cashew butter. So just thinking where you can increase the fats.
Yep. So like celery, I didn't think that would put on weight. Yeah,
celery won't, but you have it with the nut butters, which are a good source of fats.
Nut butters?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just get them from the supermarket?
Yep, supermarket or health food store.
Okay.
Wonderful, Tom. And just as a final one, if none of that works, I think I may have a couple of kilos your wife can have from me if she wants some. No worries. Glad we could help, Tom. Look, back with food fulfillment for you, Peter. You've got one more point you want to bring out today, and that's we'd like to sort of sometimes think we're doing the right thing by having a big glass of water with a meal, but that's not necessarily the right thing.
No,
either.
Look, absolutely. Like, if your idea is that if you're eating, you want to eat. So if you're thirsty while you eat, it's probably because you're dehydrated, and you need to drink more between meals. So I always say, drink at least 15 minutes before, 1 hour after, because again, it dilutes all your digestive secretions. I've said on the show before that at 50 we have half the stomach acid we had when we were 20. So you don't want to be eating a meal, particularly if there's a lot of protein, and then dilute all of that acid you're trying to produce to digest it with water.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Some great advice there. I had the microphone off because I didn't want to cough too loudly, and I've been paying you out all day, and it's finally come back to haunt me.
That is true, probably, I'd say.
Karma at work, ladies and gentlemen. Look, to finish up today, some talks that are coming up from today. It's Secret Mother's Business. What's that all about?
Yeah, what's a secret? Carly McKean, one of our naturopaths, is having a free talk on tonight for mums that want to learn about what to feed their kids, particularly things like tips for lunch boxes, etc. So that's on tonight, and people can find out more about that by getting onto our website or calling the office. And on the 10th of October, we've got one of my favourite talks for the year, Natural Remedies for Gut Health, featuring a fermenting demo. So on the night, we'll be doing a demo of how to make sauerkraut, kombucha, which we've not done before, do you know what kombucha is?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's very exciting. I'll have to bring you some of that in to try. and coconut
Great.
yogurt.
I'm your
as well.
guinea pig. If it doesn't taste too well, here, Mark, have some of this. You'll love it.
Well, people will be able to see on the podcast what
course they
happens to
will.
you
Of course
when you
they
have
will.
it. So
Yeah.
that'll be live radio.
Wonderful. Alrighty, and next week, Peter, back on the radio talking alternatives to milk.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Sounds good. And if you'd like some details on those talks, you can make your way to mullenhealth.com.au or call Peter Mullen on 49614075. Thanks, Peter. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, Mark. And just as a quick finish up, we had actually 830 people participate in our free Healthy Habits Challenge, which is a phenomenal effort. And it's still available for this week. If you haven't done it and you'd like to give it a go, download it this week because it'll be going off the website after that.
Isn't that the biggest number you've had?
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Well done on that. And congratulations,
it's
everyone,
been
for taking
really
part.
good effort for everybody taking part as well.